I discovered a mysterious black box hidden in my wife's dresser drawer during a stormy evening, and in that instant, everything I thought I knew about my partner of 15 years shattered. I'm Nathan Carver, 42, working as an intellectual property consultant in Seattle, Washington. My wife, Lila, 38, works as a financial analyst, brilliant at numbers, but apparently even better at keeping secrets. That evening started innocently enough. I was just searching for my raincoat. The closet's familiar lavender scent, once comforting, now seemed sinister. As I reached into the drawer, my hand brushed against something unexpected. There, concealed under her collection of silk scarves, lay an unmarked box, roughly the size of playing cards. It seemed alien in our meticulously organized world. The rain pounded against the window pane as I stood motionless. Every instinct warned me to leave it untouched, but curiosity won over caution. I retreated to my home office, the sole space I could truly call my own in our house. Under the harsh desk light, I examined the box carefully. No identifying marks, no security measures, just a subtle line where it opened. In my profession, I routinely uncover corporate deceptions, finding flaws in patents and agreements. But this was different. This was intimate. Lila was always meticulous, arranging everything from spices to clothes with perfect precision. So why this hidden box? What secrets lay within? Opening it revealed a USB drive and a hastily written note. The handwriting was unmistakably hers, but uncharacteristically messy. 3 words were scribbled in dark ink, sending shivers down my spine. I ran my thumb over the writing, imagining her hurriedly penning these words. Who was the intended recipient? Why the secrecy? With shaking hands, I connected the USB to my laptop. It contained a single audio recording. Her voice emerged, speaking intimately to an unknown man. His voice was unnaturally smooth, calculated. Nausea overwhelmed me. I quickly shut the laptop, but couldn't forget her laughter, so different from the one I knew. Let me take a moment here to connect with you, my listeners. Where are you following this story from? Are you in Seattle like me, or somewhere else across the nation? If you're intrigued by this story, don't forget to subscribe. You won't want to miss what happens next. I remained at my desk, watching raindrops trace paths down the window. After 15 years together, I thought I understood Lila completely. That box proved otherwise. Whatever truth she was concealing, I needed to uncover it, regardless of the consequences. That black box turned my reality inside out, and Lila's voice on that USB haunted me, her intimate conversation with a stranger piercing through my soul. I'm Nathan Carver, sitting in my Seattle office, the persistent rain drumming against the windows. My laptop beckoned, challenging me to uncover more. Though I'd spent my career unraveling corporate mysteries, this investigation felt different. This was personal. I pressed play again, my breath caught in my throat. Lila's voice started softly, laughing about some late-night rendezvous. Then his voice interrupted, smooth and confident, addressing her as babe. My heart constricted. She didn't object. Instead, she whispered about missing him. Missing him? I'd been there every evening, buried in case files while she sat nearby, seemingly absorbed in her phone. At least, that's what I believed. I skimmed through the recording, catching snippets. Clothes rustling, glasses clinking. Her mentioning they had just 2 days remaining. 2 days until what? My thoughts spiraled. I examined the file's metadata. Recorded 3 nights ago, during what she claimed was a downtown client dinner. The note from the box flashed through my mind, sending another wave of chills. I checked her calendar on my phone. Wednesday at 7 showed no appointments. But Blue Haven? I knew that place. A dimly lit bar on Capitol Hill's outskirts, with its perpetually sticky tables. Not somewhere I'd expect to find Lila. Or perhaps I didn't know her preferences as well as I thought. I needed concrete evidence. I connected her phone to my laptop, employing a technique learned for a work tech specialist. I embedded a tracking application within an innocuous software update she'd never detect. Minutes later, I accessed her location history. Tuesday night showed a 2-hour stay at Blue Haven. No client dinner after all. My teeth clenched involuntarily. Looking back further, I found 3 visits to the same location last month. Each time after 9, when she claimed to be working overtime. Her carefully constructed narrative was crumbling, revealing something far more disturbing. I reclined in my chair, the aged wood protesting beneath my weight. Outside, Raindrops painted the window pane, transforming the city's illumination into a hazy blend of amber and slate. The office walls seemed to constrict around me. I could march into our bedroom right now, wake her, and demand the truth. But that's not my style. I'm methodical, preferring to let evidence accumulate until it forms an irrefutable case. So I persisted in my investigation. I duplicated the USB contents, discovering 2 additional files concealed in a hidden directory. The first was brief, just interference and a faint chuckle. The second struck deeper, his voice tense and insistent, declaring he couldn't hold out any longer. Lila's response came as a hushed murmur, barely discernible above the bar's ambience. She promised to resolve something. But what? Was that a problem? My heart raced as I grabbed a notepad, documenting every detail. The mysterious note, the bar visits, the timeline, that enigmatic letter J. Who could he be? A colleague? An unknown acquaintance? My mind wandered to her company's Christmas celebration last December. That polished character in the fitted suit, standing uncomfortably close during the champagne toast. Jonathan, perhaps? The name eluded me, but I'd uncover his identity. I searched Blue Haven online. The reviews painted a picture. Intimate, private, cash transactions only. The perfect setting for whatever clandestine activities she was pursuing. My phone vibrated with Lila's message. Go to sleep, don't work too late. I studied the glowing text in the darkness. She lay mere steps away, maintaining this facade of normalcy. I contemplated my response, torn between playing along while unraveling her secrets or pushing for answers. I opted for brevity night, non-committal, strategic, for the moment. Rising to my feet, I paced restlessly. The rainfall intensified into a thunderous cascade overhead. My gaze fell on the USB, that small repository of deception. It wasn't sufficient evidence. I needed to witness their interaction firsthand, capture her voice in real time, not just recorded fragments. Opening the tracking application, I monitored her phone's location pulsing in our bedroom. Tomorrow would begin my surveillance, following her movements when she thought herself unobserved. My profession had taught me the value of patience, building cases systematically. But this was different. This investigation could destroy everything. I collapsed back into the chair, the laptop's glow harsh against my eyes. The audio file remained there, mocking me with its presence. I pressed play once more, fast-forwarding to the conclusion. Her voice emerged again, gentler this time, almost beseeching. Claimed she never meant to cause me pain. That ship had sailed. His chuckle cut through, callous and cruel. Boasted about my ignorance. He'd underestimated me. I'm the analyst who dissects every detail, who uncovers truth in technicalities. And I was closing in. I powered down the device, letting darkness envelope me. The house's wooden bones groaned in the night. Lila lay in our bed, either lost in dreams or feigning sleep. I was wide awake, painfully so. Sleep became impossible after discovering Lila's deception woven through that USB, and I found myself obsessively monitoring the tracking application. I'm Nathan Carver, still confined to my Seattle office, the storm's rhythm fading to background noise. My wife's deceptions were coming undone, but to comprehend our current situation, I needed to revisit the past. Back to where it began. Back to Portland, 16 years prior, when Lila and I first connected at a financial law symposium. I was 26, establishing myself as an intellectual property consultant, all business and bottom lines. She was 22, pursuing graduate studies while interning at a prestigious firm, her copper-tinted hair shimmering as she passionately debated copyright regulations over mediocre conference coffee. I was captivated. We connected during midnight discussions in a cramped hotel lounge, her challenging my perspectives on trademark legislation while I struggled to match her intellectual agility. She possessed this magnetism, this untamed spirit that drew me from my comfort zone. I'd always been reserved, more at ease with legal documents than social gatherings. Lila was my opposite, a force of nature who commanded attention. Our initial date took us hiking through Oregon's rainy coastline, her joy echoing as we navigated slippery paths. Love didn't strike that day, not immediately, but her gravity pulled me in. 2 years passed before she made her move. We sat surrounded by discarded crab shells in a Portland restaurant when she pushed a napkin toward me. "Marry me, Nate," she'd written, her emerald eyes challenging my hesitation. I wasn't prepared. Marriage seemed like an unexamined agreement, but she pressed closer, kissed me deeply, and assured me I'd never find her equal. I accepted her truth. Our wedding was intimate, with only close family and select friends, set against the backdrop of the Pacific on a coastal bluff. Ruth, my mother, wept through the ceremony, embracing Lila as the daughter she'd always longed for. In the background, Lila's sister Tessa observed with a knowing smirk, already 3 drinks deep. Post-wedding, Seattle beckoned with promising careers. I secured a position at a technology firm, safeguarding patents for innovative million-dollar concepts. Lila excelled at her financial institution, mastering complex numerical challenges as if they were puzzles crafted specifically for her expertise. Then Owen arrived, our spring storm baby. Now 12, he's all awkward growth and baseball aspirations, perhaps our sole undisputed success. I believe we were unshakable, a perfect unit. Yet retrospect reveals the subtle fractures. She had always been the navigator, and I, the willing follower. Standing at my office desk, I felt the memory dissolve. The house maintained its nighttime silence. Owen sleeping above, Lila somewhere down the corridor. My phone displayed her location marker, a taunting reminder. I traced her to Blue Haven, overheard her weaving deceptions with someone called Jay. But this betrayal had roots. How deep did they extend? I searched my memories for overlooked signals. The previous summer brought late nights at her office, supposedly due to audits. I'd accepted this, preoccupied with my own deadlines. That July weekend stands out now. She'd attended a Tacoma conference, leaving Owen in my care. She returned radiant, humming unfamiliar melodies. I'd smiled, oblivious to the deception. My attention drifted to a wall-mounted photograph. Us at a Mariners game. Owen between us, beaming with his foam finger. We constructed this existence methodically. Family cookouts in our yard, Lila managing the grill while I handled refreshments. Cannon Beach getaways, joining Owen in the surf. She'd always orchestrated everything, securing accommodations, planning routes. I contentedly followed her lead. Now I questioned everything. Had I merely been along for the ride? Was this her calculated departure strategy? Opening my laptop, I retrieved an old company newsletter from her firm. Last year's retreat photo captured my attention. In the back row stood a tall figure with dark hair and a confident smile. Jonah Miles, senior analyst. My instincts flared. Could he be Jay? I scrutinized the image, his hand casually resting on Lila's shoulder, her head subtly angled toward him. Perhaps meaningless. Perhaps everything. I forcefully closed the laptop, its snap piercing the silence. My trembling hands betrayed my anxiety. This wasn't just pursuing a name anymore. I was chasing the stranger my wife had become. A floorboard groaned overhead. I stiffened, straining to listen. Owen's familiar footsteps, likely seeking water. I released a controlled breath, centering myself. The revelation could wait. Not until I had concrete evidence. But doubts gnawed relentlessly. Had she introduced him to our son? Had he invaded our sanctuary, seated at our family table? I pushed the intrusive thoughts aside, reaching for my phone. The tracking application pulsed steadily. She remained here, lost in slumber, or feigning it. I couldn't rely on appearances anymore. I eased out of the office, navigating the darkened hallway. Her door stood slightly ajar, moonbeams creating silvery patterns on the floorboards. I peered inside. There she lay, breathing deeply, dark hair spread across her pillow like spilled ink. Enchanting, duplicitous. My grip tightened on the device. Tomorrow would bring answers. Blue Haven at 7. I'd witness it firsthand. Listen, understand. Whatever secrets she harbored, I'd expose them all. Because the woman peacefully sleeping wasn't my wife. She existed elsewhere, with another, while I played the oblivious spouse. The night had passed in a haze of investigation into Lila's hidden world, and dawn found me resolute. I'm Nathan Carver, still inhabiting our Seattle residence, suffocating under the weight of unspoken truths. The tracking app confirmed her destination, Blue Haven, 7 o'clock sharp. I wouldn't wait for another devastating audio revelation. I bid Owen farewell as he collected his baseball equipment, his cleats marking the floor. He departed cheerfully, heading to practice with our neighbor, unaware of the turmoil. Lila swept past, clutching coffee, mumbling about an evening meeting. She avoided my gaze. I acknowledged her with a nod, maintaining the charade, my heart thundering. I be present, concealed, observing. Work crawled by, patent documents blurring before my unfocused eyes. By 6, I positioned my weathered Subaru 2 blocks from Blue Haven. The establishment hunched on a worn corner of Capitol Hill, neon signage humming above a worn wooden entrance. I entered discreetly, hood raised, claiming a secluded booth. The establishment carried the stench of beer and disappointment, while Springsteen's melodies drifted from the jukebox. I requested a soda, maintaining a low profile. Couples huddled in corners. A solitary patron contemplated his whiskey at the bar. Then she appeared. Lila appeared transformed, more angular and defined. A black dress clung to her silhouette, her heels striking the floor with deliberate precision. Her eyes swept across the room, missing my presence entirely. My chest constricted as a figure rose from a table near the window. Imposing height, broad-shouldered frame, dark hair meticulously styled back. Jonah Miles. I'd recognized him from the photograph, but in person, he radiated a self-assurance I'd never possessed. His smile spread wide as he enveloped her in an embrace that extended beyond propriety. Her laughter pierced the ambient noise, genuine and uninhibited, not the measured one she reserved for me. They settled in, heads intimately close, his fingers grazing her hand. My grip intensified on my glass, causing the soda to spill over. The listening application I'd installed on her phone last night connected to my earbuds. I activated it, enduring brief static before their conversation emerged clearly. Jonah's voice, smooth and calculated, suggested she deserved better than someone consumed by administrative tasks. My teeth clenched involuntarily. Lila exhaled deeply, describing me as dependable, stable, but recently detached. Detached? I've been present, coaching Owen's matches, repairing household issues. Jonah's laugh carried as he labeled me a phantom in my own residence. Her silence spoke volumes. She confessed to needing this, needing him. My insides churned violently. A call from Ruth, my mother, interrupted. I declined it, but a voicemail followed immediately. After hesitation, I removed one earbud and played it. Her tone was terse, urgent, revealing her conversation with Lila. She insisted I needed to relax my grip, give Lila space. What? Returning to the live feed, Jonah was proposing a secluded weekend getaway. Just them. Lila hesitated before mentioning she'd consider it. Though Owen complicated matters. Complicated matters? My son wasn't a negotiating point. As I prepared to confront them, Tessa, Lila's sister, burst in, emanating defiance in her leather jacket. She joined their booth, wearing a knowing smirk. I lower myself further, maintaining the audio feed. Tessa spoke harshly about handling me if Lila wouldn't. Jonah's amusement followed, promising I'd be blindsided. Lila attempted to quiet them, claiming she still valued me. Tessa dismissed this, calling me spineless, mentioning Mom's involvement. With what? Dizzy, I dial Mom, speaking quietly. She answered in whispers, admitting to being at Tessa's, aware of their scheme. Scheme? I switched audio feeds again. Tessa's voice accelerated, declaring that the upcoming corporate gathering would be the perfect opportunity. Their plan was to intoxicate me, orchestrate a compromising situation, make me believe I transgressed somehow. Lila's voice wavered with uncertainty, expressing moral reservations. Jonah intervened firmly, insisting it would liberate her from guilt. Tessa concurred, mentioning Ruth would support the plan, persuading me it was commonplace behavior. Commonplace? My own mother's involvement? I terminated the call, my hands trembling uncontrollably. The bar's atmosphere became indistinct, conversations merging into a distant rumble. This wasn't mere infidelity. They were systematically reconstructing my reality, transforming me into an unwitting participant. I escaped outside, raindrops piercing my skin like tiny daggers. Back in my vehicle, I revisited Mom's voicemail. Her voice underwent a noticeable transformation midway, becoming gentler, discussing her conversation with Lila about personal freedom, about men's capacity to adapt. Adapt? As if I were some adjustable device. I accessed the tracking application, observing Lila's location indicator pulsing within Blue Haven. My hand hovered over Owen's coach's contact. I needed to ensure his safety, keep him removed from the situation. I sent a message requesting Owen's stay overnight. Coach responded affirmatively, no questions asked. I released a tentative breath. Urban lights streaked past as I navigated homeward, thoughts churning. Upon arrival, I entered stealthily. The residence felt unfamiliar, every shadow potentially concealing threats. Armed with my laptop, I delved into Jonah's professional profile. LinkedIn revealed his 5-year tenure at Lila's company, marked by rapid advancement. A team photograph showed him intimately positioned beside her, her smile unnaturally broad. I investigated Tessa's social platforms. A recent post displayed her and Lila at a vineyard, labeled Sisters and Secrets. Secrets? I scoffed bitterly. Mom's incoming call appeared again. Ignoring it, I examined an old family conversation. Ruth enthusiastically praising Lila's career advancement. Tessa responding with suggestive emojis. They'd been complicit throughout. I traversed the living room restlessly, bare feet meeting cold flooring. Their strategy was evident. Intoxicate me at the event, fabricate misconduct, force my compliance. Lila's earlier words about caring echoed mockingly. Caring enough to entrap me. I halted before Owen's baseball equipment on the sofa. His recent inquiry about Mom's constant phone usage resurfaced. I dismissed it then. Now I understood. She'd been coordinating with Jonah, conspiring with Tessa, betraying me to Ruth. My own family. I collapsed onto the couch, my laptop's gentle hum filling the silence. The tracking application pulsed rhythmically, showing her departure from Blue Haven, heading homeward. A decision loomed before me. I could expose everything now, tear down their carefully constructed facade, or participate in their twisted game, manipulating it to my advantage. Games are my forte. I excel at identifying vulnerabilities, discovering contractual loopholes. This time, their fatal error was undervaluing my capabilities. I retrieved a backup phone from my desk drawer, reserved for client emergencies. Messaged Coach again, verifying Owen's arrangements. Then settled into waiting. Car lights illuminated the driveway. The lock mechanism turned with her key. She entered, her heels echoing against the floor, maintaining a carefully composed expression despite visible fatigue. "Hi," she whispered, feigning normalcy. I acknowledged with a nod, manufacturing a smile. "Rough day?" I inquired. She dismissed it with a shrug, claiming extended meetings. I observed her ascend upstairs, each step carrying deception. She remained unaware of my presence earlier, oblivious to my discoveries, ignorant that I'd ceased being her manipulated shadow. The corporate event approached in 6 days. I'd be prepared. If they preferred underhanded tactics, I'd surpass their expectations. 6 days after witnessing Lila's machinations at Blue Haven, the company gathering loomed ominously over Seattle's skyline. I'm Nathan Carver, maintaining residence in our shared home, portraying the unsuspecting spouse while time inexorably advanced. Owen remained secure, temporarily residing with his coach, his baseball equipment safely distant from this turmoil. Lila bustled around that morning, selecting a metallic dress, humming innocently, unaware I knew of her orchestrated trap. I maintained appearances, shaving, adjusting my tie, engaging in pleasant breakfast conversation, inquiring about her expectations. She described it as a relaxation opportunity. I sipped bitter coffee, nodding agreement. Her entertainment, perhaps. For me, it represented a battlefield. The location, an upscale downtown hotel, exuded luxury through glass and gilded surfaces, crystal chandeliers casting light across formal attire. Arriving at 8, I escorted Lila, her overwhelming fragrance surrounding us. Her company's executives populated the space, analysts exchanging drinks, laughter reverberating off marble surfaces. Jonah lingered near refreshments, smugly attired in pristine blazer. Tessa monitored from the buffet, casting furtive glances. Ruth, my mother, attended as Lila's guest, her silver curls visible as she entertained executives. The entire ensemble gathered, prepared to manipulate their puppet strings. I ordered whiskey, letting ice cubes collide audibly for show. Across the room, Lila swayed with co-workers, unaware of my watchful gaze. I nursed my drink deliberately. Tessa approached, having traded her usual leather for a provocative red dress. She suggested I should relax, have another round. I agreed with a smile, ordering double. The bartender, following my earlier instructions, discreetly substituted soda. Jonah materialized beside us, squeezing my shoulder, commenting on my apparent tension. I chuckled, blaming work pressure. His knowing smirk suggested I step back, let Lila take center stage. I raised my glass in response, the cool rim touching my mouth. The evening progressed, bass reverberating, lighting growing dimmer. Tessa persisted with drink offers, her smile strained. I performed subtle stumbles, slurred speech, loosened my tie. They accepted every staged misstep. Around 11, Jonah whispered something to Lila, her gaze darting toward me. She traversed the room, grasping my arm, suggesting we head upstairs due to my apparent fatigue. Upstairs? Alarm bells rang. I mumbled agreement, allowing her guidance toward the elevator. Tessa followed, frantically messaging someone. Their scheme was unfolding. The 10th floor welcomed us with luxurious carpeting muffling our footsteps. Lila guided me to a room, swiping the keycard. Inside waited a massive bed, windows obscured by heavy drapes. Jonah entered silently behind us, door closing with barely a sound. Despite my racing heart, I maintained my intoxicated act, swaying unsteadily. Tessa ushered in a junior analyst from downstairs, visibly uncomfortable and flushed. Lila hesitated, expressing doubts. Jonah harshly reminded her to follow through, emphasizing speed. Their goal, compromising photos to ensure my compliance. I collapsed onto the bed, shirt partially open, muttering incoherently. Tessa commanded the analyst to approach, unfasten my belt. The young woman froze, protesting her involvement. Jonah demanded compliance, citing time constraints. Her trembling fingers reached for my waist. That triggered my response. I straightened slowly, revealing my clear-headed state. Silence engulfed the room. I dismissed the analyst, who fled immediately. Tessa cursed while Jonah lunged forward, but I anticipated this. Grasping his wrist firmly, I twisted, sending him crashing into the furniture. A lamp shattered against the floor. Lila recoiled, her designer dress catching the ambient light like polished steel. Rising deliberately, I adjusted my tie, maintaining a controlled, measured tone. I revealed my knowledge of everything. Blue Haven, their clandestine calls, their elaborate scheme. Made it clear I wasn't the inebriated fool they presumed. Tessa's features contorted as she spat that I couldn't substantiate anything. Without hesitation, I retrieved the burner phone from my pocket and pressed play. Their voices emerged, crystal clear and incriminating, detailing this very scenario. Jonah's arrogance, Tessa's malice, Lila's half-hearted objections. Every word captured live from her device, synchronized to mine. Her expression crumbled, hands instinctively covering her mouth. Facing her directly, I declared this charade finished. Not due to the absence of past love, but the impossibility of living with her deceptions. She reached out desperately, pleading forgiveness, claiming insignificance. I withdrew, stating it meant everything. Jonah snarled threats of retribution. My steady gaze met his as I promised he'd regret his interference. Tessa lunged for the phone, but I secured it, moving toward the exit. Lila's voice cracked as she called after me, imploring me to remain. I continued forward, unwavering. The deserted corridor stretched endlessly, the elevator's gentle hum accompanying my descent. Below, the party continued unaware. I slipped through a side entrance, rain drenching my jacket. My Subaru waited faithfully, engine purring to life. I contacted Coach, announcing Owen's pickup. His voice crackled through, inquiring about my welfare. I assured him, expressing my need for my son. Navigating rain-slicked streets, city lights blurred against darkness. Owen entered 20 minutes later, drowsy but cheerful, baseball equipment in tow. He inquired about his mother's whereabouts. Gripping the steering wheel, I offered a vague response about her later return. He accepted silently. Observing his profile, softened by the dashboard's glow, I knew he didn't need complete disclosure yet. His immediate trust, climbing into the car without hesitation, sufficed. Lila could have her freedom, Jonah, her machinations. I had my sun, my clarity. The hotel diminished in the mirror. A glittering prison escaped. They'd miscalculated, expecting submission. Their error was clear. I wasn't defeated. I was liberated. And this story remained unfinished. I steered away from the hotel with Owen beside me, watching Seattle's skyline fade in the rearview mirror, knowing life would never return to its former state. I'm Nathan Carver, finally breaking free from the identity Lila's deceptions had crafted. That night, I found refuge in a roadside motel, its brick facade weathered and neon signs sputtering. Owen drifted off on the uneven mattress, his baseball glove held close like a talisman. In the darkness, I sat reviewing the recording from the gathering, the burner phone screen illuminating my face. Each voice rang clear. Tessa's spite, Jonah's pompous tone, Lila's disintegrating justifications. More than mere proof, it represented my deliverance. Dawn arrived beneath leaden skies. I reached out to Trent, an attorney friend from my previous firm. Over steaming pancakes at a Tacoma diner, I shared the recording. His expression hardened as he listened, confirming I had an ironclad divorce case with potential for full custody. He mentioned how this revelation could devastate Lila's professional standing. But vengeance wasn't my aim, escape was. We submitted the paperwork that week, my name etched decisively below. Lila contested, appearing at our house tearful and legally armed. She promised transformation, dismissed Jonah as temporary. I walked past her, Owen's cleats in hand, unmoved. She clutched my sleeve desperately, voice breaking about Owen's need for unity. My response was simple. He needed a father worthy of trust. Her grip loosened. The divorce proceedings turned ugly and prolonged. Jonah's boasting exposed Lila's scandal at her firm, transforming a client meeting into chaos. Her reputation tarnished in internal communications. Her career crumbled, designer wardrobe replaced by casual wear and isolation. Trent informed me she'd relocated to a modest waterfront apartment, alone. Jonah vanished, pursuing another conquest in Portland. Tessa attempted contact once, her drunken apologies lost in static. I terminated the call. Ruth, my mother, sent correspondence, her trembling script acknowledging her misjudgment, pleading to reconnect with Owen. I shredded the letter, releasing its fragments to the wind. I relocated Owen to Tacoma permanently, securing a modest rental near the waterfront. No extravagance, no deception, just a simple porch featuring a weathered swing and enough yard space for baseball practice. I resigned from the technology firm, transitioning to independent consulting work from my kitchen workspace. The income decreased, but family time flourished. Owen adapted gradually, his initial silence punctuated by questions about his mother's absence. I maintained honesty while keeping explanations straightforward. One evening, he discovered the black box containing the USB in my desk. Looking up with knowing eyes, he confessed overhearing her once, sharing laughter with another man. He admitted pretending ignorance. I embraced him, assuring him pretense was no longer necessary. Without hesitation, he discarded the box. While my life found stability, Lila's unraveled further. Trent's investigation revealed her financial betrayal. Thousands diverted from our shared accounts to fund Jonah's luxuries. The evidence swayed the judge, granting me full custody. Despite her weekend rights, Owen refused visits. Standing firm in our living room, baseball bat in hand, he chose to remain with me. Her lone appearance ended in tears, makeup streaming down her face as she begged. Owen remained locked upstairs while she departed, tires squealing against wet asphalt. I let her go. Months later, I got a call from her old boss. Said she tried to sue the firm, claimed wrongful termination. Lost bad when Jonah testified, spilled everything to save his own skin. Her name was mud in financial circles now, blacklisted from every decent job in Seattle. I pictured her in that waterfront apartment, staring at the sound, the woman who'd planned my downfall, drowning in her own. I didn't smile, didn't gloat, just hung up, turned back to Owen's game on TV. He cheered as the Mariners scored, oblivious to the wreckage behind us. I leaned back, beer cold in my hand, the Tacoma air salty through the window. Deception had cost Lila everything, her career, her family, her pride. It cost me, too, a life I'd built brick by brick, torn down in a heartbeat. But I'd found something in the rubble. Truth. Owen and I had our rhythm now. Saturday games at the park, pizza nights with his teammates sprawled across the couch. He'd grown taller, his swing sharper, his trust in me solid. Lila's betrayal had flipped our world, but it didn't break us. It broke her. Looking back, I see the lesson carved in the chaos. Lies might open a door to freedom for a moment, but they always lock away what matters most: trust, love, the stuff that holds a life together. I learned happiness isn't chaining someone to you. It's knowing when to let go, when to walk away and build something real. Owen's laugh echoed from the yard, bat cracking against a pitch. That was real. That was enough. The journey today has come to an end. Did you find this ending satisfying, or did it catch you off guard? Let us know how you feel right below. If you love this story, don't forget to drop a like and subscribe so you won't miss the next adventure. Thanks for sticking with us, and see you in the next tale.